lost our dreams and reach for fade away.
Welcome back. It's very special, I guess you can say, episode today.
Do you realize you call every episode special?
Everything is special except for the one that perceived. But no, this was we were good. We were gonna do another episode based off of the guitar that's in the middle on Brian's wall there. But on, I guess it was Thursday, Blink 182 announced a surprise, show for their first show at Coachella in 23, which was live streamed and everything. It was, couldn't even believe that it was real.
Yeah, we've been saying it's going to be Star Wars Day before we get a Blink show, and
yeah,
there it is.
And then boom. So a lot to kind of talk about, a lot to uncover. I want to talk about the gear that was obviously used by the two, and kind of just our reactions and what we thought of the show as a whole. So Brian, for maybe first of all, we'll start with kind of that. So what did you think of the show as a whole?
So the best part of the entire thing was when I was texting Stefan and a few other friends at the beginning, when you just see Mark and Tom talking backstage, and Mark's wearing Scully and Tom's wearing the Starcaster, and they're just chilling, laughing, having a good time. And it just felt like they're enjoying this, and they're going to put on a good show. Like, this isn't like, hey, we're getting paid, tell me when it's time to go on stage. It felt real. Like, it felt like, whoa, we're about to get something fun, cool, exciting. What about you?
Yeah, I it's the same thing. Just seeing them there together, laughing, and just clearly having a really good time. And obviously, I mean, you go back to the all the documentaries from like 2002, the Luther Chronicles and all that stuff, and like they're clearly best of friends, and it felt good again, seeing them, and they just looked, like you said, happy.
Yeah, I've always said in the past, like, I don't even care if they're friends, because just give us Blink and music, but like it does affect live performances and charisma and momentum going into it. So I think with them being on such good terms, it really helped the show, which, I mean, I think we're in agreement that the show was great. Like, it definitely hit all the marks. I don't really have like, a ton of big complaints about it. I think I was satisfied with the set list, considering that they are a greatest hits band. We have to accept that. But it did have some deep cuts on there. I have no idea. I just have to throw this out here. I have no idea why they would do Don't Leave Me and not online songs when everybody's begging for online songs. It blows my mind. But other than that, I feel like
that's funny.
I feel like it hits the mark. What about you?
Yeah, honestly, I do. I think there was obviously some songs that I really wish that they would have, but with it being the first show back, it being live streamed, it being all the press and everything, the set list was perfect. I know a few people were saying, "Oh, Adam's song should have been on there," but I don't think that Coachella is a place to play Adam's song, or I guess obvious. I don't know. We'll talk about the C sharp guitars in a bit, but I no complaints really when it comes to what the set list was, what the energy was. I think it was a great way to start the show with them coming out, and it was great. It really was. I think it, like you said, it hit the mark. It really did.
And I was talking to one of my friends about it, and I was like, okay, talent wise, we could probably agree that Green Day probably has more talent as far as like musician skills and maybe even lyrics. I don't know. But for some reason, Blink just knows how to hit you with their lyrics, and they just have those guitar riffs. and they're just like down to earth guys that you just feel like you could hang out with.
Yeah.
Like they just seem cool. I
Yeah.
mean, just take it from the fact that Tom wore that To the Stars shirt and then it sold out within the hour.
Yeah.
And like I'm sure everybody's buying Adidas Sambas and like everybody's looking for that 7-Eleven shirt that Mark was wearing and like
The baby
because
blue
everybody
San
thinks it's
Diego hat.
cool. Yeah, they want to be like them. Yeah, and his blue what is it, Padre hat?
Yeah.
They just seem like
I'm all for it though.
everyday
That's the
guys
thing.
that made it, and that makes you want to like support them.
Yeah.
And
I'm all for it. I mean, the fact that you want to buy the shirt, you want to buy. I mean, I remember, being 16 and looking back, I looked like a whatever. But having the Atticus hat with the Macbeth shirt and the Dickies and the Macbeth. And
the
it's just
next video,
awesome.
if you will have the To the Stars shirt with a blue the Padres hat, I will.
I don't,
I will love it.
unfortunately. I don't. I think. I don't know if it's. The only thing I have, I still have, I have an old Atticus beanie that I think I pulled out to show you once, but I still have I still actually have a lot of old Atticus stuff that's in the closet still, like the original Atticus thing I still have. But yeah, again, going back, just the fact that a shirt that Tom was wearing sold out like that, that's so rad to me that they're able to, they still have this aura about them that you want to, be a part of this, and it's so cool that
dress like them, be like them, talk like them.
It's 2023, man, and a shirt still sells out like that. It's just it's
impressive. It's
so.
really it's kind of bizarre, like that they just have this appeal, and kind of with their live show. Let's just kind of get into it. Like, it's not perfect. It has mistakes all over it with lyrics. It has mistakes with guitar playing. There are some light tracks that you'll hear in the background to support it, but it just sounds so raw and it feels so real. It almost just feels like you're seeing a local band, and it makes it better.
I'd rather there be screw ups and Tom miss a guitar part, or Mark go off pitch for one part of a high note. I'd much rather have that than it be just polished. Yeah.
It's something that Blink fans, that just casual fans of Blink, sometimes they don't understand. Like, why do you guys like this? Like, what is it? I mean, this sounds, it doesn't sound like the album.
Yeah.
And you have to explain, like, this is like kind of part of the charm. Now, like, there are some time periods where you could say these shows are not good, but like that one was really good. I definitely think it, like, I'll be honest, like when it started out with Anthem Part 2 and Tom was kind of doing the everything has fallen to, he's trying to do this Ava thing. I was like, oh no. But he kind of like chilled out and it got better, because I was like, are we gonna get Tom from Ava singing these Blink songs? But then it ended up working out, and Mark, of course, sounds great. Like,
Always
I mean, sometimes there's notes that go off, but
Mark,
I mean, to
Mark
answer
always
some
does
of
it.
people, I mean, to answer some of the people's questions that I see on our Instagram page a lot is, yes, there's a few guitar backtracks. I mean, he's got one guitar player in the band, and these are really powerful songs. You got to have a little bit. It's 2023. A lot of people are doing it. But if you watch some pop punk today, they're doing it a lot more than Blink was, because you can still hear Tom playing. You still hear the mistakes when he makes them. If you are looking for one, just go check out the intro to Anthem Part 2. You'll hear a few mistakes. And that's cool. I mean, it just feels more raw. And they also do have a little auto-tune on the microphone. I mean, you'll hear it on the Edging song during Mark's verse and some of the choruses that Tom sings. Just a little, but I think it's necessary and it makes sense. If you wanted to know a good part where I can hear the guitar backtracking, it's during the verses of Edging. You can hear just a little bit extra just to make it a little more powerful. And plus, he's singing while he's doing it, so it's just to make sure there's that little bit on there. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It makes sense, and it was so light that it doesn't bother me. It's kind of like in I Miss You. You said you heard like a little piano part. Like, yeah, I mean, put the little piano part in there. That's cool.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, Well, let's, I guess, talk about kind of the basses and the guitars that were used. So, I mean, for Mark,
Yeah.
anyways, I mean, seeing Scully, just from even when they were in the back to when they came out and started playing was honestly, it's magic, man. It really was. Actually, finally seeing that guitar or that bass coming back,
Oh
and
yeah, I
it
was
looked
excited.
great, sounded great. I mean, like I think you were saying before we started to hit record that the skull inlay is just how shiny, like when the light hits him, it just reflects back. It was perfect. It was awesome. It was so cool to see. It really
Yeah,
was. That was a huge highlight for me.
I was so glad that he used it a ton, and
Yeah.
then he picked it back up and used it a lot more because I was really worried it was only going to be used on one song, and I, it's just my holy grail. So I was pumped to see it. Don't get me wrong, the other bases are cool too, but Gully for the win.
Yeah, it was so surreal to see. I mean, I guess shout out to Joey from he's the one that got Peachy. For those who don't know, he was one that requested Mark to have it. So it's really cool. And I think Mark is now digs it again, right? Compared to
Yeah, I've
maybe
been
from
trying
before.
to. I mean, I'm not close to Mark to tell him, but I've been trying to like get the word across. Like when Billy Joe Armstrong pulls out Blue at a show, people will cheer just because he's pulling out a guitar. Like they're,
Yeah,
yeah. That's how the fans feel about Scully. And I've been
yeah,
trying to like get this message to Mark, like, if you would pull this out every show, like Billy Joe does Blue, even if it's one song, people will rejoice, celebrate,
yeah,
because that bass itself can represent Blink
yeah,
and pop punk. And like, if anybody's watching and they can just push this message along, I think Mark's starting to understand it with Scully, but
yeah.
it's just so iconic. It just makes sense.
Well, I think also too is not only is he pulling out old bases like Scully, but the
Mhm.
fact that like now he wants to replicate those certain stickers that
Yeah,
were on there during that time. Again, I think that's pretty cool that he wants to do that.
yeah,
So yeah, after Scully, there was the relic that he used. He's used Jin, which was super cool to finally see him play it live on stage.
yeah.
For those who don't know, Alan Corona was the one that, and Daily Dave was the one that designed it, and Alan put it all together and
Mhm.
made it all happen. So cool to finally see that. And then the Daphne Blue, I think I mentioned, with the
Yeah,
for I Miss You, and with the different neck and the Seymour Duncan pickups, the quarter pound pickups in them. But super
right.
cool to actually, like that was a,
And I
the
made a joke earlier that the Daphne Blue was cool to see because it was the only guitar in the whole show that was like a solid color. You
yeah,
know, it didn't have any artwork or designs. And I was like, I never thought I would just miss seeing like a solid color bass or guitar.
yeah. So yeah, again, pretty cool to see for that. Pretty much used Scully for majority of it. And it's what he typically does. It's one bass that he has and for the majority of the set. And it was really cool that it was Scully. I think it was, and I think it should have been. I mean, obviously, not up to me by any way, shape, or form, but I think it kind of should have been, especially for this one. Like it is the main one, and I think in his quiver, his arsenal in the back, I think he had the black with the blue octo sticker,
Hmm.
as well in there too, probably as a backup,
Which
standard
is the
backup.
jazz bass, if people don't know what you're talking about.
The jazz bass one,
Black
yeah,
jazz bass, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, he's pretty cool. Honestly, pretty cool bases to pick for the tour. But anything else what did you think of the bases?
Love the basses. I'll just make a quick comment that the amps for Mark and Tom are all like, I think Tom's Axe Effects. I think Mark is Kemper. So that's just what bands do these days. So if you feel like it's less powerful, it probably will sound more powerful when you're there. The reason that it just comes across the way it does, like on the YouTube video, because it's all compressed, it's all direct, and you're not hearing it like you would at a live show. And I still think, yes, miking a cab, like if Mark had an Ampeg and Tom had a Mesa Boogie, it would sound better. But that's so much equipment that they just don't need. And a lot of bands, I'll use an example, like Coheed and Cambria, they're all Kemper now. And what was the other one? Like All Time Low, they're all timbre. So
A lot of them are. I mean, it's very rare that you actually see now. I think.
some
But
41
actually,
too,
yeah,
by the way.
it's
All their cabinets are empty.
yeah.
The
No,
stage.
it's really weird to. It is really weird to see. Um, but
But yeah, let's talk about Tom's, and then I'll talk about the guitar tone. But I'll let you give us the spiel.
yeah, so I mean, Tom's main guitar that he used, I call it uh, Shellcaster because it's the shell pink. It's the lighter pink one, covered in all of the stickers that he used, and that was more. He used that one a lot for just like standard tuning, and then the Blink caster, the one with all of the blink and stuff writing on it, or drawings on it. Sorry, I think that was his backup for his standard that he used. Then he had the what do we call it? Is it the penis caster? What do we call the
I guess.
it's just the one with all the stickers, the Olympic white one. So that one he used for the down or drop D tuning, I guess, with the capo on it. It's for like feeling this and what have you. So pretty cool to see. I think the coming out with the Shellcaster. It was so just surreal to actually see it finally turned on, played. So just it was weird to see
Yeah.
it back to Fender. I know we've seen the pictures and all this, but actually see him playing it. But very, very quickly, it felt right. Like it looked like, yeah, this is it. Like it looks
That guitar
great.
screams him
Yeah,
all the way. I even think a solid color one, if he ends up playing the other two that you're going to mention on his rack, like if they're still solid color, I think they'll look really cool on him too.
yeah.
He's such a tall guy, and it just fits.
Yeah, being 6'4", I mean, like having a big hollow body, it fits. I mean, it is weird seeing a hollow body with a Fender neck.
Yeah.
It's still different to see him playing something.
And I
like
will
that,
say,
but-
I personally like 335s better. But if I was a famous rock star and Fender wants to make a deal and Gibson doesn't, man, let's go. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
it's just what you gotta do.
that's what happens,
Look
right?
at-
I mean,
Yeah, look at John Mayer switching to Paul Reed Smith. I mean, he loves Fender, and he was just so sick of, like, I don't even remember. We won't even get into that. But, like,
yeah,
he went to Paul Reed Smith, and everybody now associates him with that.
made him exactly what he wanted, and that was it. Same with this, right? Like these guys went to Fender and said, "I want X, Y, and Z," and they made 12 of them pretty quickly for him, right? And
Yeah.
whatever color variation he wanted, what design he wanted. I mean, it just made a heck of a lot of sense.
I get it, yeah. I mean, people can't get mad about it. Anybody asking in the comments, it is the SH5 custom pickup. Not really sure why he chose that one, but hey, that's what's in there.
From what I remember, it was when they were doing it, it was one of the closest to the Dirty Fingers they said that they wanted to put in there. But so he had the Shellcaster and the Blinkcaster, I call it, as for his standard tuning guitars. He had the Penis Caster and the Surf Green, just for the sake, Surfcaster, for the drop D guitars. And then he didn't use them though, but he has the gold and the darker shell pink with no writing or anything on it as the C sharp tuning. So I guess those will be used for Adam's song and Obvious. So that'll be kind of cool to see him, like you were saying, have him come out with no stickers, no drawing on them or anything. I think that'd be kind of cool. But
Yeah, that would be cool.
so each guitar has its own backup in case something goes on.
So, yeah, let's talk about the tone for a minute. A lot of people are like, this tone sounds so good. Man, this Starcaster sounds great. Okay, this is just a personal opinion. Yes, the Starcaster is going to have a different tone. It is a different pickup than the Dirty Fingers, but you gotta understand we're judging different things here. Like, he's still using his axe effects, so it all has to do with like your amps and how you've dialed in your tones for your amps. Also with the pickup, so like a Gibson versus a Starcaster, you could set up your amps and they would be so close. What makes the difference is, remember, back in the early Blink days, I mean, not early, I'm talking like 2000s, he's using Mesa Boogie cabs that have a mic in front of them, like this, and then they just go right in front of them. So you're getting that speaker tone into the mix, and that's what I think sounds the best, but I get why they don't do it. Then he switched to those Vox combo amps, and it was wired direct. And a lot of people didn't like that tone. They said it sounded really thin.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started using the axe effects, which is a lot like Kemper, and it sounds really good. If you listen to, even if you don't like Ava, if you go listen to a lot of their live stuff from 2021, his guitar sounded really good.
Yeah.
And it was Gibson. And then
Yeah.
you've got, he's using the Starcaster now with a very similar pickup. I personally don't think the Starcaster is going to sound a ton different than the Gibson. The only difference would be maybe the fullness of the guitar. You would have to like play a chord and see what the sustain is like and the fullness of the sound. But like, I think if the pickups are close and he's using the same amps, that if he was using a Gibson last night, it would have been really close to the same tone, personally.
Yeah,
But
agreed. I think yeah, exactly. I think that's what it was. I think when they first came on, it sounded really, really, I don't know, maybe it was just me when I listened to it, or audio issues or whatever, but it sounded really, really thin, and then it picked up really quick right after that. But
yeah,
it
probably
is,
had to be adjusted and stuff.
honestly, I think you're right. I think it is like, it's very, very close to I think what the Gibson would be with the dirty fingers in it. Same
Yeah,
body structure,
if that
everything.
pickup is, I would have to like see what the measurements of the ohms are, but if it's close, I mean, I need to play a Starcaster like one like Tom's to really know, but I just feel like they would be so similar through the tone and everything.
Yeah.
But it was great. Like, it sounded good. I like the tone. I like the. I mean, if there were there were some backtracks, but they were like this loud. If his guitar
Yeah.
was this loud, they were this loud. It just enhanced it. It didn't
It
do
just
anything.
complemented it, is all. Yeah, everything else I think is being played by him, and probably just like the backing chords in the back was just
Yeah.
the only thing. And I'm fine with that, honestly. Like you said, it's hard to have one guitarist, especially nowadays. One guitarist do everything for the sound of it, and having a little bit of a backtrack doesn't.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
And there were a couple little vocal ones. Like, you would, if you want an example, go listen to Edging, where they say "get the rope." You
Yeah.
hear a little extra echo in there, but it's fine. I mean, like I was saying, it's just a little bit. I'm on board. I'm excited about the tour. Other people are excited about the tour because all the tickets prices have gone up.
Yeah.
Finally, we have some movement in the Blink world, and I mean, I couldn't be more excited. So.
Me too. I'm after seeing that last night. I just like it just made everything
Yeah.
real. And there was
My
pictures
only
before, but
critique,
jeez.
because everybody is so like, high on this right now and the hype and all that. My only critique, which I mean, you'll probably get torn up in the comments, is like all these posts I'm seeing from different, famous Blink fan accounts and stuff saying, this is the best performance since Sydney Big Day Out 2000. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, I get we're excited. I get that it was a really good performance. But are we saying it's better than Camden? Are we saying it's better than Pepsi Smash? Are we saying it's better than the Letter to Elise MTV Icons performance? Are we saying it's better than the one, what would you say, Red Bull?
Red Bull.
The Red Bull private concert? Like, holy crap, guys. Like, I know we're excited, but it's like, I don't know if it's better than those, but it was really good. So
It was I really I don't have really any complaints about it. The set, like I said, set list was great, sound was great. People always critique Tom on his vocals. I think Tom's vocals sounded really, really good.
And yes, he did mess up the lyrics to Reckless Abandon, but I did want to throw this out here. I mean, I am a big fan of the original Blink, but like, people would trash Skiba for messing up guitar parts and vocals. It wasn't even his songs. He didn't even write those songs. And like, Tom does it, messes up a guitar part or vocals, and they go, "Oh, Tom, he's so silly. Oh, that's just his style. That's just what he does." Oh, but like, we gotta be more forgiving when people fill in and stuff for bands, because I mean, if we give Tom a pass, we should give Skiba a pass, because this is what Blink is.
Yeah, Skiba got a lot of
yeah. I mean,
hate
so
for
many people
stuff
are
like that.
jumping on him for that iHeartRadio performance, and he's playing "What's My Age Again." It's like, go listen to Tom play some of that stuff last night. He messed up the riff for "Man Overboard." He messed up the Anthem Part 2 intro I was telling you about. And like, you just hear little things like that, but people are like, "Oh, I love it. That's just Tom. He's crazy." And it's like, okay, then give give Skiba a pass. And
Yeah. Skiba
that's
gets
just
a lot
my
of
personal.
Skiba gets a lot of hate for.
Yeah.
He had very big shoes to fill, and
So
I think he
that
did a great job.
picture
But
that I sent you, was that Skiba at the show or no?
I don't think so. I think it was a lighting guy. I think
Okay,
it was a
cool.
lighting guy. For those who don't, there was a picture that was going on backstage, and there was some that did, I will say, look. Maybe it was, I don't know, but it looked
He had the neck scarf
yeah, I know.
thing.
Yeah, he looked a heck of a lot like Skiba backstage, which I think Feldman was back there too. So I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that
Yeah,
that
you know
being
who
in
else
LA.
was back there? Freaking Tim Armstrong, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was watching. And Coachella, apparently they said that there were so many people. Did you read this?
Yeah.
That they had to turn on the screens on the outside of the stage to show Blink because the people couldn't all get in there.
Crazy, eh? Like crazy. Oh
Yeah.
well, I don't know. I'm hyped. I think I'm on that hype
Oh,
train.
let's talk about Travis for a second.
Yeah.
Totally on point. I do think that he I could see that halfway through the show he was getting kind of exhausted because I mean, dude's working on a broken finger and he hasn't played a full show in a while. But man, he still did it. I mean, still like during I Miss You towards the end, he's drumming and moving his head while he's doing it and doing the little stick twirl, you know. But I could tell he was getting tired. But like, dude still got it, man. Like,
it's crazy how
and I like
Broken
his
Bones
he does
doesn't
the
miss a
drums.
beat.
I always love it when he has the acrylics where you
Yeah.
can see through them. They look really good. Do you have any idea why he has 3 pedals? I'll have to get some
I
drum
gotta-
person to tell me.
I'm
Is
not
it because he's got double bass and a hi-hat, or is it something else?
I think so. I think it was in one of the rehearsals, somebody said that he has like a double kick now. So maybe it's just double kick and a
cool.
single. I don't
Okay,
know,
I'm sure
yeah.
somebody will comment and tell me, but I just want to make sure to get Travis in there too. He looks cool.
He killed it
He's
too.
playing cool. He doesn't age ever,
Yeah,
but
Right. Awesome.
and he's probably the most famous person at Coachella besides the Kardashians.
Besides his
so.
wife, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I think that will kind of conclude. I'm so hyped for the tour coming up. I think Starcasters were amazing. All of Mark's bases, Scully coming back, just probably like one of the biggest highlights is actually finally seeing Scully back on stage. So no, I hardly really no complaints. It was amazing. It really was.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to actually go and see these guys.
What do you have to say about the people that wanted Tom to play a Strat? Do you have anything for them?
No. I don't know. But we got a lot of those too. If he was going to come out and play
And this
down
is
it.
coming from a guy that has 2 of his Strats. Like, you're okay with him not playing one?
Well, I mean, I will say like him having a Strat on him the way he is now, because I mean, even in 2000, he was a lot, more thin, more, lanky. I don't know what the word is. And now with him being more like filled out, let's just say, I think having a Strat on him now would be a little. It would look small. Like it really would look a lot smaller. I think his, when you see him play guitar, I think having that semi-hollow bar, that bigger style, just suits him so well. It really does. So.
Yeah, it almost looks small on him because he's like so tall and big.
Yeah. So I mean, whatever he wants to play, I don't care. But I think it would be a little bit different if he played a Strat. But I don't know.
Can you give us a spoiler? Is he going to play a Strat on the tour?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I do think though that for the VIP section, some pretty cool pieces coming. So
Yeah, like guitars. Yeah.
So you'll
Cool.
see. I mean, will there be a Strat on the tour? Probably. Will Tom be playing it? I don't think so. But I think
He'll be
I
behind
think there'll be a
locking
pretty
keys.
cool Strat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited. I honestly, it's gonna be a good year, I think, for Blink fans. So. But
Yeah,
I think
be prepared for a lot of merch. That's what I'm thinking. Like, you're
a
going to
lot of merch,
see
yeah.
every bit of merch you could ever dream of.
And it will sell.
So if you want to collect pins and stickers and whatever you collect, they're coming.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that will do it for this one. Any last words that you got, Brian, to send us home?
See you on the tour, man.
See you on the tour. Bye, guys.